half body to see what I'm holding. So potatoes, these are roast potatoes, Baby Red Bliss, also is another name from. And I'm gonna get these, but when you're getting potatoes, you want to just kind of make sure that they're firm, and you want to make sure that the eyes are not, the eyes are the little blemishes kind of on there with almost like a root kind of sticking out of it. You want to make sure that the root or the eyes is not too long, because then they're really old. So these look fine, and what we're gonna do with these is just kind of like boil them, and then make a dill garlic butter, and just toss them in that, and they're really great. If you've ever eaten at Boston Market, you would know that that's what they do with these. So just boil or steam them, and then it's garlic dill butter, toss them, salt, pepper. These are amazing, right? So Red Bliss potatoes or baby roast potatoes, whichever. Different places call them different things, but that's what they are. Dairy-free cheeses, right? There's tons. If you look here, you'll see that there's lots of variety, but my favorite is these guys here. They're called Vio Life. Their cheddar is amazing, shredded or slices. The closest to these guys, I would say, would be this brand, but if there's Vio, I would go with them first. But unfortunately, I haven't found Vio Life that has shredded mozzarella, so I always go with these guys as my runner-ups for mozzarella cheese. So doing pizza, of course, and you're trying to stay away from dairy, this is a great alternative, but you want to be careful because some people are allergic to pea protein, and some of the cheeses have pea protein in them, so you want to just check your ingredients. These guys use coconut, which is great. It's awesome when you don't need to worry about any allergies. You can kind of just go with whichever one you want, and they're soy free. Some people, they're very cautious about eating soy, so great alternative. So for pizza, this is what we're using, right? So vegan, dairy-free mozzarella, and then for our tacos, I always get these guys because they're just as good, and you can't tell the difference once you put in, it into your tacos, right? So vegan cheese, this brand or this brand. These are my two favorites and go-tos. The others, not so much. So if you're looking for vegan options in terms of meat substitute and stuff like that, these are really great, but you want to just kind of test them out. For me, I find if you bake them at a high temperature like 375, 400, they get a really nice texture and they become a little bit more meaty if you're looking for that, and it just tastes better overall than if you were to just take this as is and kind of just cook it with your vegetables. You don't get the same flavor profiles as if you were searing a piece of meat. So you definitely want to cook these before you actually use them for whatever stir fry or pasta sauce you're using, anything like that, right? So oven is the best way to go. Deep frying is an option, but not as healthy. But definitely just taking a half sheet tray, spreading it with some oil, a little bit of butter, putting them inside and let them bake for about 20 minutes or so. At 375 to 400, they become nice and golden brown. They come out this color, even these, they'll come out this color, and they just taste really good. But you just want to be careful with some of these because the texture of the skin, you want to take off the plastic, obviously, before you bake them. But the texture can become very hard on the outside with some of these vegan sausages, so you just want to keep that in mind when you're cooking them. Alright, so sausages, vegan, they're great. These hot dogs, they're not bad, but I try to stay away from the ones that are like super processed just because, you're trying to be healthy. So fresh herbs, it's great to use when you're cooking, and you always want to, this is the best route to go. I rather fresh herbs than dry herbs any day. Certain dry herbs are great depending on what you're using it for, like herb de Provence. But when it comes to basil and mint, tarragon, dill, stuff like that, you always want to go the fresh route. And you just want to double check and make sure there's not a lot of bruising or dark spots because, then you're wasting it because you have to get rid of it. So we're going to go with fresh basil, right? We also need to get some dill. And this dill is going to be for our red potatoes that we got early on, and this is what we're going to use to flavor our butter. So we have fresh dill, and then we also want to get some fresh thyme. This is like one of my all-time favorites. I use this in everything. I use it to make mushrooms. I use it for rice dishes. I use it for stews, for sauces. I use it for just about anything really. It's great to use and just tastes really good. Right, so for these kind of herbs, these are the three main ones that I get from here, and then we'll go down the other side to get the other herbs, which would be like parsley, cilantro, and yeah, those are like the two main ones that are not normally with this bunch. In terms of, you have broccoli, and then you have broccoli rabe, which is this one, and then you have broccolini, which is this one. Similar names, but totally different flavor profiles, right? This one is sweet, and this one is really bitter, but both really good for you. So I tend to mix the two of them. I'll use 100% of this, and then I'll use maybe 25% of this, just because the bitterness of this will power your dish. So you want to be very tactful in how you use it. So not a lot of it. So this will last you a really long time. And I would just go with these if you're starting out. These you would love because it's pretty much just like broccoli, but just a little bit sweeter. And versus these where you know, it's really good for your blood. You know, anything bitter is great for your blood. So I would use these the same way I would use any kind of green vegetables. Blanch it first, shock them in ice water, and then saute them with lots of garlic, chilies, you know, olive oil. It's really great, right? So for pasta, amazing. The two of these combined. So cucumbers are great. You can go with the mini route, which are these, the mini cucumbers. You know, some of them will say for pickling, which is fine too. You don't have to pickle them if you don't want to. And then also you have the hothouse cucumbers, which are like the seedless cucumbers. These are firm, but they're individual, bigger. Either one works. These are a little more expensive, but almost equivalent to one of these. But these are really great for snacking. You slice them up. When you're getting cucumbers, you want to make sure that they're really firm. You know, if you get a cucumber and they're soft, more than likely they're going bad or they're starting to rot. So you want to make sure you just kind of feel them along the way, and you make sure that they're really firm. And when they are, they're great. You know, so just always double check that when you're buying these. I'm not crazy about. They're cheaper, but to me, the center, the seeds are a little bit more hard, and it's a little more, the water content's a little higher, so you end up with a mushier cucumber versus the hothouse or these mini ones, which is more flesh than seeds. So go with these for our salad. Really awesome for salads. These are radishes. They're also called breakfast radishes. But the way you would treat these is that you would slice them very thin, and you would put them into ice water, and that would freshen them up and really crisp them up. And then afterwards, you would then pat them dry and add them into your salad mix. So instead of buying a pre-made salad mix, I would just get everything I need and kind of make the salad as is, you know, and just start from scratch. So getting lettuce, you know, cabbage, carrots, anything like that, anything you like in your salad, and then just making it at home versus buying it, you know, store-bought, because it'll last even longer when you do fresh, right? So breakfast radishes. So I like to make my own salad mix, right? Normally when you buy a salad mix from the store, you know, one of these, I'd say 2 or 3 days later, most of it will be rotten. You know, you can see it's going bad, it's really brown. So I like to make my mix from scratch myself, and you can do that by getting some arugula, right? You can get some romaine, or you can get some green leaf lettuce, but get the whole head of the lettuce, and then you would kind of make your salad. So you can kind of get all the ingredients that they would put in their salad, and then you can kind of just buy it separately. So lettuce, carrots, red cabbage, radishes, and you would kind of prep those all individually, mix them up, and put them into a Ziploc bag. But the secret to keeping it fresh and longer is to put a paper towel in the Ziploc bag. When you do that, all this condensation and moisture that's in here gets trapped in the paper towel, and it doesn't get on the leaves, therefore breaking down the actual lettuce and ingredients that's in your salad mix, right? So we're gonna make our own mix. So we got our arugula, we already have some lettuce, We have carrots, we have purple cabbage, so that's everything we need, and we have a radish. So that's what we're gonna mix and use for our salad. All right, and then dressings, you can make your own or you can buy one.